Hello everyone, it's me, Mr. Gowlett. We are here again today to read the second part of the 12 Labours of Heracles. So, let's begin. The mad bull is tamed, master. The man-eating birds are dead, and your wild horses are outside in the yard, said Heracles when he returned soon after. What must I do next? But Eurystheus was running out of problems, and his mind turned to thoughts of getting rich with the help of Heracles. Get me the jewelled belt worn by the Queen of the Amazons, said the king from inside his urn. Here was one task for which Heracles did not mean to use his great strength. He simply went to the queen of those savage female warriors and explained why he was there. She took an instant liking to him and gave him the belt straight away. Unfortunately, word spread through the camp that Heracles had come to kill the queen, and he had to fight 1,000 angry women, fierce as wasps, before he could escape with the jewelled belt. And so it continued. No sooner did Heracles finish one task than he was set another one. To fetch King Eurystheus the legendary giant oxen, Heracles made a bridge over the sea by bending 2 mountain peaks out across the water. To fetch Pluto's 3-headed dog, Cerberus, he travelled down to the fearful underworld. But the 12th and last and greediest of the king's commands was for Heracles to bring him the apples of the Hesperides. These magical fruit grew on a tree in a garden at the end of the world, and around that tree crawled a dragon which never slept. Even Heracles, with all of his courage and strength, quailed at the thought of fighting the dragon. Better by far that a friend should ask it for the fruit and be allowed to take them. So Heracles went to see a giant named Atlas. Now Atlas was no ordinary giant. As big as a house, Atlas was the biggest man in the world. And he towered above houses, cliffs, and hills. He was so tall that the gods had given him the task of holding up the sky and keeping the stars from falling. The sun scorched his neck, and the new moon shaved his beard, and for thousands of years he had stood in the one spot. How can I go to the end of the world, said Atlas, when Heracles asked him for the favour. How can I go anywhere? I could hold the sky for you whilst you were gone, suggested Heracles. Could you? Would you? Then I'll do it, said Atlas. So Heracles took the sky on his back, though it was the heaviest burden he had ever carried. Atlas stretched himself and strode away towards the end of the world. The gardeners were members of his family. Fetching the apples was no hardship, but as the giant hurried back across the world carrying the precious fruit, he thought how wonderful it felt to be free. As he got closer to home, he thought of carrying that weight of sky again seemed less and less attractive. His steps slowed, when at last he reached Heracles. Poor, exhausted, bone-bent Heracles, Atlas exclaimed. I've decided. I'm going to let you go on holding up the sky, and I'll deliver these apples to King Eurystheus. There was a silence. The Heracles grunted. Fine, thank you. It's a great honour to be allowed to hold up heaven. But if you could just help me get a pad across my shoulders before you go. These stars do prickle. So Atlas took charge of the sky again, just whilst Heracles made a pad for his shoulders. He even gave Heracles the apples to hold because he needed both hands. Well, I'll be on my way now, said Heracles, juggling with the apples as he scurried away. Most grateful for your help, but perhaps next time you'll get the better of me. After 7 years, Heracles' hard labours came to an end, and he was free. But he was never free from his sorrow at taking that first glass of wine, not until the day he died. Being only a man, and not a god, he did die. But the gods did not forget him. They cut him out in stars and hung him in the sky to rest from his labours for all time, among the singing planets. So everyone, I do hope you enjoyed the 12 Labours of Heracles. It was an interesting read. Tomorrow we shall be reading another one, and then we're close to finishing all of the Greek myths that we have. So, until tomorrow, everybody, I hope you have a lovely evening, and I hope you have a great day tomorrow, and I shall see you for the next story time. Goodbye, everybody.